Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. You're looking live at PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. Tuesday, we got a good show lined up. A lot to talk about. We got Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show, and also we have Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. He's done a lot of research and done some good articles on Graham Mertz. We'll talk about those. Gators kicked off practice yesterday. I was there, and we'll discuss that. But first, let's go to the Titan MR hotline. And we're joined by Buddy Martin, longtime not publisher, but writer. Done a lot of books on the Gators, been doing this for a long, long time. You can hear Buddy Monday through Thursday nights for now. Going to move to Friday nights here soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From about 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. He's our David Letterman of Gator Sports Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Johnny Carson be more appropriate. Good morning, Shane.
That's right.
Hey, you were a rock star on my show last night. Man, they were coming out of the woodwork to talk to you last night, and we had one of the maybe the biggest crowd since last fall. That's because you were talking about practice and what you saw, and I think that's what people want to know about. You know, you get to see the bird's eye view of it and insights that you have. So yeah, I feel a little bubble up. I'm not going to get over my skis on this because I'm excited that football's back, but I feel some things happening right now. We'll see if I can be an oracle about this. I defer to you because you're the guy with the expert eyes. And so I'm excited to talk about this team. There's things worth talking about, Shane. And you're right. Like that Alton Armstrong, he's going to be a little star. It's going to be fun to follow that defense.
Yeah. It's funny to me, buddy, because, we got great media guys, and a lot of them come on my program, and they only get that short period of time where they can come out to practice. Right. And it's funny watching them. I saw them all yesterday. They're scrambling because they only got this certain period of time. They're running this in. They're taking pictures. They're doing this. And then, they put something on like a picture or a video of a quarterback throwing a swing route. And I just laugh at the comments that people put, Graham Mertz has no chance of playing, he's checking it now. It's comical to me. Not what the reporters are doing, but what the people are commenting about. And that's just the world we live in now.
It is.
Look, I'm a big fan of Graham Mertz. I think he's going to be fine. I think this team, as I've said, is going to surprise a lot of people. Yesterday was just a normal first day practice. It's not a whole lot you can take out. Oh, one of the things I saw, somebody reported, and I don't know how they know this. I guess they have somebody that tells some of these reporters kind of what goes on in practice. It ain't me. But they said that somebody threw two pick sixes. Well, first of all, I didn't see those, so I'm not sure if that's legit. But even if it did happen, who gives a damn? It could have been one of the walk-on quarterbacks that threw two pick sixes for all we know. So anyway, it's funny to me when I start reading that stuff. So,
well, Shane, here, have a little tolerance there. You have an expert eye. These are crumbs, and these poor media people. I agree. These media people don't get anything. It's hard to get a crumb. So when you get a crumb, you make it a cake, and say, "Well, look, I didn't see Dijon. What's his last name? I read the same thing you did. I don't get too excited, but look, this shows you how hungry people are for any kind of commentary." That's why I love having you on, and why the fans of my show last night love it, because you see it through the lens of an expert, and you can interpret it in a way. Like, I want to know, what do you like about Graham Mertz? And I want to know, how did we get off on such a wrong foot and a wrong concept about a guy that you really like, and so do people like Urban Meyer? So I can't tell you because I haven't been there.
Because the average person just looks at where he played college ball. Anyway, we'll get into that. Okay. We got some good Facebook Lives here. Right. Brought to you by Melvin Law. Andy asked, any opinion on Max Brown from what you saw yesterday? He didn't do a whole lot. He got a few reps. He's going to be the third guy.
Okay.
Let's see. Thomas says, Shane, do you think Mertz comes back next year if he has a great year? I think he comes back if he just has a decent year, personally. Joseph says, can you tell us about true freshman DB Dijon Johnson at practice? Was it two freak plays or is the kid really a player? I don't know who Dijon Johnson is. I don't even know what number he is. So to answer your question, Joseph, I don't know what the freak plays he did. Like I said, I was there the whole practice, so I'm not sure. I guess he's the one that had the 2 pick sixes, buddy, supposedly.
Yes. Yes.
Like I said, I don't know when those happened. They could have been, because like I said, you have so many different types of drills going on throughout a 2-hour practice. And maybe I missed it, but I don't know.
What did you see? You talked about it last night? I mean, this is your program. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but
yeah,
I think what your insights were, and you mentioned a few last night. I think people would love to know what you did see.
Well, what I did see was, I watched the wide receivers go through their drills and do all their stuff because I'm intrigued by the young guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I said on your program last night, the reason I like this whole receiving core is you got a little bit of everything. I always talk about a good receiving core looks like a basketball team, different heights.
Mm-hmm.
You go back, you think about the heyday when we had, I think it was Danny's junior year, 95. You had Riedel, Ike, Quezzy, Doring, and McGriff. Okay. They're all different types of players, different heights, and could do different things. I think sometimes when you get all these big guys nowadays, you miss that little shifty water bug type player. I think they got some of those guys right now. So I'm excited about those guys. Obviously, I watched the quarterbacks. I think Mertz is very accurate. I think he's very sound. He's extremely intelligent. He knows where to go with the football. So we'll see. The defense has a lot of energy. Like I said, I love Austin Armstrong at 30 years old, just turned 30. I like him because he brings that Kirby Smart, whether you like Kirby or not, people. Kirby can coach some football. Okay. Kirby brings energy to practice. Austin Armstrong brings it. He wears the visor. That's a good thing for us.
Okay.
So I'm still very optimistic about this team. Obviously, they need to stay healthy. I will say this: the damn offensive linemen, buddy, are enormous.
They are gigantic.
I mean, but
Shane, I got to interrupt you real fast. You have access to making T-shirts, right? And doing things like that. I've got this greatest idea for a T-shirt, and I've asked people, this offensive line, they're a bunch of road graders, right? So I'm thinking we ought to have a thing that says Gator offensive line, something. I-75 road graders, GRATRS. I think it'd sell like crazy. All right. The road graders, like the Great Wall, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you like it, but I think it'd be great. I asked people, the I-75 road graders, GRATRS. It's an absolute guaranteed hot seller.
I like that. But no, what like I've said many times, when I was playing ball, you're in the huddle, you're around these guys in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
You just it's just natural that you don't really notice how big guys are because you're around them all day.
See it all the time.
But when you get away from the game and then you walk and I walk by one of their drills or a water break or whatever, and these dudes walk by me.
Enormous.
And I'm like, holy
big
cow,
guys.
Big. So I'm excited. Joseph wants to know, did you notice anything defensively? No, I mean, again, they're in shorts. They're in shorts, people. Yeah. You probably won't notice much anyway until we play somebody else. Andy says he loved your interview, buddy, with Austin Barber. Will you have other players in the future on your show?
Yes, I got them scheduled. Yes, we're scheduling them right now. I loved it too, by the way. It was great.
Yeah. So, I thought it was a good first day. It was very hot out there. They practice. Football is so much different than it was back in the day. I think they can only practice 3 days in a row. Then you have to take a day off. The NFL, they hardly even put pads on now. That's kind of how college football is going. Yeah. So we'll see. But right around the corner, we'll be heading to Salt Lake City to play the Utes. Buddy, we talked a lot last night, and I wanted to bring this up on my show because I was not aware of this. But I guess Athletic Director Scott Strickland was on Steve Russell, good friend of the program's show yesterday, talking about the renovations. And you mentioned to me last night, because I had not heard this, that they had talked about maybe building a new stadium somewhere. I'm 1,000% against that because I said I don't remember in my lifetime ever hearing of a college football team or university building a new stadium. I can't think of one.
Stanford had one,
Stanford
and USF had one. South Florida.
USF they're playing in the damn.
That's what I was told last night. So somebody on there tell me. One of my guys.
They're building a new on-campus site.
Okay, well, I guess that's it.
Just like UCF did years ago when they used to play at Camping World or whatever it was called back in those days.
But nobody established
they didn't have a stadium. Yeah. I'm talking about a university that has had a stadium for years.
Yeah.
Has decided we're going to tear it down and build a new one. Somebody's got to let me know.
That's a great question. But let me say this about the stadium thing. I said this on my show several times and nobody paid attention. Maybe I didn't say it very well. When I was over at the new facility, I asked the people there, including Scott Strickland, what are the options? And they had all the options, including, and I asked, does that include perhaps building a new stadium on another site? And they said, yes, that's one we'll look at. Okay. Now let's not overstate it because you're right. Steve Russell had him on yesterday. And I think Scott did a better job of explaining what they're trying to do. But under no circumstances would I ever support moving the swamp, period. None.
Yeah, I'm against it 100%. Greg says USF is because they're building an on-campus facility. Greg, they don't have a facility. That's what I'm talking about. Auburn, they've played in the same place ever since Auburn University was created. Same way in Tuscaloosa, same way at Ole Miss, same way at Mississippi State, LSU. Florida has been there since 30? Or before that?
Yeah, I think, probably.
Okay, like I said, I don't give a damn if they don't do a thing to it. I know people want more luxurious stuff. I get it. It's not that damn important. If people don't want to show up, they want to stay home. That's fine. I don't think by building something state-of-the-art, because that's what the NFL does. It's different. College football and NFL football are totally, totally different.
Well, it's not one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, period, college or otherwise. The Swamp, I mean, is historically one of the treasures of college football. So now I understand. Let me just say this, that he went on to explain, Strickland said he presented a plan for renovation that would cost $400 million. I'll get the architecture. He said he clearly does not want to abandon Ben Hill Griffin for a new stadium, but he's smart enough to know he needs a contingency plan to move forward. This is emphasized, I believe Zach wrote this. Strickland does not want to abandon Ben Hill Griffin. He's smart enough to know that. All right, so anyway, talking to Russell, he said some of the renovation could involve converting office space, 180,000 square feet, by the way, in the stadium on both east and west sides of the stadium. Shane, I went to College of Journalism in that building. That's where our journalism department was.
I lived in the damn building.
Did you really? That building?
What?
Yeah.
No, I lived in the football stadium.
Well, but Jan, okay, I guess it would be considered part of the stadium, but Jan Hall was kind of a separate deal.
But Jan Hall is in the stadium, just like the offices that were Scott Strickland's office.
Yeah.
In the stadium is the same as the other side of the stadium, but it's just dorm rooms or apartments or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way in hell they build a new stadium. Right. I'm against it. I will walk down. Like I said, I will lead the protest.
You'll lay in front of the tractors and stuff when they come there.
Yes, I will do whatever I have to do.
I'm counting on you to do it. But I got a good quote here, which says, let's make sure we quote him right. This is the quote from Strickland. I think the Swamp is one of the most iconic stadiums in college football. I think it should maintain we should maintain that, and our goal is to be 1,000% believe that it should be renovated. It will feel like a college stadium. We're going to have a student section that's going to continue to be a really important part of Ben Hill Griffin and the environment of the Swamp. Well, we're going to hold him to that, Shane.
Yeah, and I do 1000% believe that he knows it's iconic, and I don't think anything's going to happen. Do they need better bathrooms? They need wider concourse? Yes. Whatever you got to do that. Put some chairbacks down there for the alumni. Don't do a damn thing to the visitor side or to the student section. I mean, it's a simple process if you ask me, because it's college football. As somebody said here, I think I agree 100% with them. I'm throwing a lot of 100 and 1000%.
You are throwing a lot of numbers today.
Brian says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel, he says, I don't mind being uncomfortable. Players are uncomfortable. They're hot. I don't mind. It makes me feel part of the game. That's a great statement.
That's a great statement. I like that. Yeah.
But because here's the thing, Brian. Buddy, I'm another 100,000% here. I agree. I understand you got to have sky boxes and all that stuff for your big donors. I get it. Have you ever been into it? I know you used to go sit in the press area, which is not great for you guys.
Right.
But have you ever gone to a Florida Gator game and gone to one of the sky boxes?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone that I've been to, because I don't like, I'll go up there for 10 minutes, say hello to some people, and then I leave. This is before I was doing radio.
Right.
Those people might as well be sitting in their kitchen at their house because nobody's watching the game.
It's country club. They're all talking and watching.
They're talking, and not even watching the football game.
Right.
So
that's what rich people
do. Those
people
Shane. Are different than the average fan that sits their butt out there.
They don't sweat like Brian. Like Brian, he sweats. Yeah, I like that.
I agree 100. That's what makes football football. Now, what I don't understand when it comes to sitting in the stands, these people that are smart enough that constructed these facilities that it goes at an angle like this. Why you have to stand the whole damn game? If everybody just sit, you could see, but everybody has to stand for some reason. So, anyway, Joseph says when someone hits a home run at Conjuring, the lights dimming and all that is one of the best parts. That's what the fans want. Hell, we can put as many light fixtures as they want, whatever they want. But
put a light show up. We don't care. Just don't move it.
I thought they did. I thought they did do like an orange and blue light show last year.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Andy says the swamp is currently not handicap accessible. So if they touch the bowl there will be a lot of seats taken out. Well, I'm pretty sure on that mezzanine area.
Well, there are people up there in wheelchairs.
Yeah, it's got handicap places.
It's probably not the best place in the world, but they have an area. Yes, they do.
Yeah. So enough of that. I mean, I'm against renovating, doing what you got to do.
Well, we're going to put you on that committee, Shane. We want you.
Well, they don't want to. I want you on that committee at times. About
Good.
Things.
We like that. We need opinions.
And don't mess with the damn football stadiums. All I got to say.
That's a T-shirt. Don't mess with the swamp. All right. I guarantee you sell 1,000 tomorrow. Don't mess with the swamp.
That's right. Ruse Ogre State Farm office says, "Don't mess with the swamp."
There you go.
They're also a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Speaking with Buddy Martin on the Titan Tomorrow hotline, we'll be joined by Edgar Thompson. Edgar's done a couple of pieces. I don't know if they've run. Have they already run on?
The piece on it, the one that he wrote, which I saw an excerpt from, was the one about the coach Hoover, who's known Mertz since he's in 7th grade. He's quoted as saying he's never seen him more comfortable. He has a lot of positive things to say about Mertz and how much he likes it there. So, I mean, look, who says everybody else is right about Mertz? Shane, I trust you. You tell me the guy can play, I'm in. So I don't see anything flies on the guy myself. I mean, not that I would notice, but everybody I've talked to who knows football really likes Ray Mertz. Now, he didn't have to be Danny Werfel or Tim Tebow, right? Put him in a shotgun, let him throw play action and whatever. So,
well, they're gonna run a different type of offense than what you saw last year.
What do you think they'll run? 2 back?
No.
Okay, what?
No, they're going to be in 11 personnel pretty much the entire game, which is 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 back.
Okay, all right.
And everybody thinks we're going to turn around and hand it all 60 times a game. It ain't going to happen. No. They're going to throw the football. They're going to throw it.
Put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. That's what they're going to do.
That's right. Just deliver the baby. Stacy says, "Don't mess with the swamp."
There you
well
go.
Said. Maybe I'll make some T-shirts.
Yeah,
So,
I'll buy 10 right now. Who wants to buy those?
I'm doing that because
Come on, bud. Come on.
Do they still make those out in Texas? Their whole rally
Don't
cry
mess
was
with
"Don't mess with
Texas.
Texas."
I don't know, but don't mess
with the swamp.
I got to have them tomorrow. Let's get them, baby. You got to
Cool.
make that happen, Shane. Come on.
I'll have to take orders. How many people on here want to "Don't mess with the swamp"?
Shoot, I'll take 10 right now.
Bill says, this is Bill Yon. I wonder if he's got anything into Yon Hall. He says, yes, 1930. The chances of the swamp being torn down are about as high as Fenway being torn down. Yeah. Good.
Well, I hope.
Good deal. Greg says, preserve the swamp.
I like preserve, but I like don't mess better.
Don't mess. Don't mess with Buddy Martin.
Don't mess with the swamp.
Yes. Buddy, what else is going on?
Well, I tell you what, I'm a little ticked off today. Look, I don't really care that much about ESPN, right? I don't. I really think I predicted a long time ago that they're going to start losing their luster because they got a bad core value system. They're dumping a lot of good people, and they're trying to get live events. They make money on live events. I mean, look, I'm not a big David Pollock fan, but I liked him pretty well.
He's good.
He's really good. No, I mean, I like what he was work. I'm saying he's a Georgia Bulldog, but it's okay. I think they screwed David Pollock big time. Among others, they screwed Gene Wojciechowski, one of the best storytellers in college football. Game day, They screwed him. They dumped him. So they get some jackleg kicker who thinks he's funny. Pay him all the money, and they don't care. They have no soul, Shane. They have no soul. They've lost touch. They're lucky to have, whether you like him or not, Paul Feinbaum, who has grassroots stuff. He lets the people speak, and he cares about his callers. ESPN last night, look, Mark Jackson, you may hate him, you may like him, whatever. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't watch the NBA that much. They dumped him now, and they're bringing in to get ready for this, all right? No disrespect, Doris Burke and Doc Rivers to work with Mike Breen on basketball. I mean, she's good, but they're going to dump. They've already, Ben Gundy dumped him. Anyway, they don't care. It's all about the bottom line, all about Disney and whatever. They're screwing up. You know why? Because they got up here so high and mighty, they forgot to dance with the one who brung them, the people. ESPN is screwing up big time. Watch them fall.
Buddy, I'll be honest with you. I don't remember the last time I turned ESPN on.
Well, you watch games?
Not recently. There's been nothing on.
Well, you watch them on. Well, you watch. I watch Feinbaum on the SEC Network.
Well, that's different. SEC Network. I can't. I know they're all together, but I look at the SEC Network.
I understand.
Differently.
I think.
But I literally have not put on ESPN. Yeah. I've not watched a Sports Center in probably 2 or 3 years.
Really?
And the last time that I think I had it on ESPN, but maybe ABC was covering the NBA Finals because that's like the last sporting event I feel like they've covered. I know. Well, I'll take that back. I watched the Gators losing the national title to LSU in baseball.
Can I read you something? Just let me this guy's named Puck. I don't know him. I think this puts it in perspective. Okay, he wrote this on. I can't say Twitter anymore, right? On X, they wrote it.
X.
Right? ESPN's talent purge is indicative of a new ESPN. One that no longer competes with cable and popular sports brands, but rather massive tech platforms eagerly licking their chops to increase their portfolio of live sports. Quote, so how long now until ESPN is only available by purchasing ESPN Plus? That's what they're trying to do. They want you to buy ESPN Plus. And anyway, I'm really ticked off at them. I'm not very happy with Facebook either, but that's my thoughts today. I mean, ESPN, that'll be the next T-shirt we make.
All right. Text on the Titan Mart text line from Robert. He says, Shane, who are the receivers that stood out to you? Well, I mean, it's day one. I don't know if anybody stood out, but I like the body build of Andy Jean, and hell, I can't remember who number 11 is. I forget these kids' names, buddy. I had a roster out there.
It wasn't Eugene Wilson. He was hurt.
Eugene Wilson's he's 21. It's
Mizell. Yeah.
Mizell. Lean dude. He reminds me of Devontae Smith, the way they're built.
Yeah.
So I like them a lot. By the way, that is it the number one wide receiver that's committed to Ohio State was there yesterday to
Yeah,
practice?
Smith. Yeah, he was there again.
I can't believe that kid's going to be playing high school football this year, as big as he is.
He's massive.
I mean,
hey, somebody else that looks good? Mark this down. Okay, I followed this kid's career because he's from Allen. Jaquavion Frazier's.
Well, Coach, he looks. Yeah, I think he's going to be a big part of the outfit.
His body looks good. He's got good hands. He's smart. He's fast. I saw a couple of plays on video yesterday. I thought this guy's going to be a factor. So don't forget that name, Jaquavion Frazier's. He's going to be a factor.
You know whose son's on the team as a walk-on, buddy?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of walk-ons that have dads.
I can't think of it, but tell
me. Marco Rubio's son's a walk-on.
That's right. I knew that. I knew that. Yes. Yeah, he'll run to Shane. He'll run to the right always.
He will. What if we had a DeSantis and Rubio kid?
Oh my words! Oh my word!
All right, David says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. A few more minutes with Buddy Martin, and we're going to get to Edgar Thompson, get his thoughts. He says new concessions, better scoreboard stats, better. Oh, it just went away on me. Hang on. Better stats, more replays, updates from around the country, more mic'd up band, and less piped in pro stadium music. Bring back the Gator Bait cheer. Yeah, they do need.
Yeah, bring back Gator Bait. Shane, you had that when you were on the field, and the Greek thing was they had a big game, and if the opponent came out there, you're Gator Bait. Gator Bait, Gator Bait.
Well, I think there's more. I think that still happens. I think they're talking about.
No, it doesn't. They don't have it. No, they don't allow that anymore.
Well, if you start saying it in the stands, there's not a damn thing they can do.
No, but nobody does it. Look, we got heat about this. People wanted us to change the name.
But they're talking about when the band plays.
I get that. Ba.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I don't. Maybe I don't hear it in the press box. I don't think. And tell me if I'm wrong, folks. I never hear them cheer Gator Bait when they come on the field. That's ought to be the first order of business next year. And the president who killed it is gone now. And when they bring the opponent on the field, I'd love to hear them say, Gator Bait again. Bring it back. And don't mess with the swamp.
Don't mess with the swamp. I like it. Reggie says, make me Mr. 2-Bit so I can run from the press box. I ain't gonna happen. I ain't doing Mr. 2-Bits.
Yeah.
Andy says the nation thinks we're racist for saying Gator Bait.
Yeah.
Well, they do because the story they dug up, but not a damn person cared until whatever person sent that to the press. Whatever happened, it was ridiculous in my opinion.
I hate to use the term, but it was woke. That's what it was.
Stacy says she still does the Gator Bait cheer.
Well, good, Stacy. You were going. Let's designate Stacy as the number one Gator Bait cheerleader. Okay. Come on, Stacy. Let's do this.
They should, dude, buddy. Let me ask you this. Maybe our listeners know this. We don't have anybody that dresses up like Mr. 2-Bits and runs around the stadium.
We don't have that. That would be a great idea.
So he could. That person could be doing get the Gator Bait.
Yeah, we've got so many good ideas today.
And if he gets thrown in jail, everybody will get him out.
We'll ban him out,
and then we'll have a new guy every week.
Shoot, we'll have a guy about 6'8". Yeah, that would be great. Bring you back on the stands. Care about the people in the stands, not just the skyboxes, Jane.
All right, buddy. I want to get to this day in sports before we get you out of here. Brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. In 2014, Indiana Pacers NBA superstar Paul George suffers a gruesome compound fracture on his lower right leg in a Team USA scrimmage. You remember that?
I do.
But the reason I brought that up is the Team USA, the Women's World Cup is going on. I didn't even know it was going on until I turned
watched
on the news.
Shane. I watched.
You're watching. I have a problem with the Women's World Cup team.
Well, you got a problem with all women's sports, Shane. Come on.
That's not true at all. I'm a huge women's sports guy.
I know you are. Softball.
I don't like their attitude, and it's not all of them.
Really?
It's a handful of them.
Okay. What attitude do you mean, Shane? Explain.
They don't stand for the national anthem. They don't. They don't sing. They don't put their hand over their heart. They don't need to be on the damn team, in my opinion.
Ooh, I didn't know all that. Another T-shirt. Yeah. Another T-shirt. There you go.
Well, I'm not going to sell that T-shirt. Brandon says real quick, Brandon says the new president doesn't seem to be as woke. Maybe it will come back. So maybe somebody needs to propose it to him.
Let's go. Come on. We got people out there. Come on, let's get the word to him, new president. Let's get you going here, man. We need to bring this stuff back. We got to preserve this stuff, okay? We can't let it all get blown away. Please, come on.
All right. So, buddy, who you got on your program tonight?
We'll have David Whitley from the Gainesville Sun. We've got Coach Meadows, Lauren Meadows talking ball, and we'll have some bites from practice and stuff, information. So doing our usual thing tonight on the program. Don't forget, can I just say this? Please go to YouTube and sign up for the Buddy Martin Show on YouTube and subscribe. That's where we're going. We got 500-600 people now there. Come join us. That's where our show will eventually move to on YouTube. So thanks for letting me plug it.
Yep, good stuff. Buddy, appreciate your time. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by Orlando Sentinel's Edgar Thompson, who did a deep dive into Graham Mertz. Good article. We'll talk about that. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, this is head ball coach Steve Spurrier, and I'm here with my wife Jerry and our good friend Sherry Houston, the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of North Central Florida. We're thrilled to announce that the 2-year anniversary of our restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, is coming up on August 14th. Last year, we had so much fun celebrating with everybody that we're doing it bigger and better this year. We're hosting a special dinner and celebration that will include a chef's choice of premium buffet or your favorite Spurrier Gridiron Grill menu, including a filet mignon carving station, shrimp and grits, short rib risotto, wonderful seafood options, and many dessert options also.
Like my famous chocolate chip cookies.
Proceeds being donated to the local Ronald McDonald House.
Thrilled to once again partner with Coach Jerry and the Spurrier Gridiron team to raise funds for the Ronald McDonald House, benefiting families and children experiencing medical emergencies.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill will be donating 11% of all of our money from food and 66% of drink sales to the Ronald McDonald House.
Go to spurriers.com right now and reserve a ticket before they sell out.
We'll have wonderful food, special guests, and a limited edition of the 2nd year anniversary collector's coins, as well as prizes like a dinner with me and Jerry. We couldn't have become one of the busiest and most successful restaurants in the Southeast without your support. So we want to celebrate with the most important people of our team, and that's you.
I want to celebrate with some of those cookies. Do you have any of those?
Sure do. Right here for you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Visor Rooftop, Bass Pro Shops, Dave & Buster's, Fat Tuesdays, Starbucks, the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, the hottest restaurant in Florida in the heart of Gator Nation. That's Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Don't forget, August 14th, Monday night, is the 2-year anniversary of the HBC's restaurant. And we'll be, don't forget about our contest. Maybe Zach can put the little link back up there. We're drawing for the free dinner with me and possibly the head ball coach. We're going to draw that on August the 9th. So follow the directions. We'll have Zach post it. Get your friends and family to repost or whatever you're supposed to do. Let's go to the Titan More Hotline now. We're joined by Orlando Sentinel, Gator beat writer, Edgar Thompson. Good morning, Edgar. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, hey Shane. Back at it, man. I tell you, you kind of sometimes dread the season starting a little because like, oh, I'm gonna be so busy. I'd rather, play golf or something maybe. But I'm psyched. I mean, I'm ready. I'm back in it, man, already. It's up and rolling. I'm actually pretty pumped for this season, I have to say. I don't know that like I was thinking that way in June, but I'm looking forward to seeing it what they got.
Yeah, I am too. Edgar, I wanted to get you on because obviously the season's cranked up, but you wrote an article for the Orlando Sentinel, and you can let everybody know where they can go read that. But you spoke with Graham Mertz's personal quarterback coach. I'm sure you did an article with Denny Thompson, who was Anthony Richardson's personal quarterback coach. Everybody seems like they have those. Just kind of don't give away the whole article unless you want to, but just tell us what this article is about and what you learned about Graham Mertz.
No, I'm fine to discuss it. Obviously, he's optimistic about the change of scenery being what Graham needed. I mean, if he'd said anything differently, you'd be like, okay, you wouldn't be right. So he's been with Graham since he was 12 years old. His name's Justin Hoover. He's based in Kansas City, Spennett Academy. And Graham's from Overland Park, where the NCAA used to be located, and it's like 10 miles from Kansas City. It's like right on the border of Kansas and Missouri. So they've been together a long time, and so they're very close. And he still works with Graham. Billy and Ryan O'Hara, the quarterback analyst, offensive analyst in charge of quarterbacks, they've kind of signed off on that because I think they realize the comfort level he has with this guy. And so he's been keeping up with how the offense runs, what Graham's working on. He's not interjecting, hey, this is the read you should make in that. He's more like, how do you feel in that concept? How's your footwork, etc. They talk a lot. They've worked together 20 hours since Graham's arrived in person. So Graham goes home, sees family, and works with Justin. So there's a lot of familiarity. Just gives you a background there. But he thinks that this system is going to allow Graham to play in a lot more rhythm than he was able to play with at Wisconsin. Wisconsin was a very run-oriented team, a physical Big Ten team known for, that for years now. And he felt they were behind the chains a lot, which put Graham in bad situations. I mean, Austin Armstrong the other day, the new defensive coordinator here, asked him what he'd seen on third down, watching film, how they could improve that. And he said the key on third down is doing well on first and second down. So you got the team behind the chains and you can pin yours back and put pressure on the guy. And Graham found himself in those situations a lot, Justin says, and the results, showed that. He was, he struck 38 touchdowns, 26 interceptions is not the kind of ratio you're looking for in this day and age in football. You want much higher completion percentage than the 58-ish 9 he was at. So we'll see. I mean, that's the big question. But he feels this change of scenery. Billy calls it a new lease on life. Justin feels like this offense, and we can talk about some of the ins and outs of that because I'd like to pick your brain since you know offense so well on what you like about it and what you like about the changing protections and the ease of doing things. Justin feels Hoover feels is much simpler and will be, it's not a multiple choice question as he called it. And he thinks it's going to allow Graham to, dig in and play faster. And that's how Graham likes to play.
Yeah, we got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law. Andy says, Edgar, Mertz's record against top 40 defenses was not good last year, and we play a bunch of those types this year. And then Reggie responds, you can't take anything he did at Wisconsin. They literally only threw on third down with no play action. The dude's accurate and has tons of experience. He's got a lot of experience. Like I said, I absolutely take what he did at Wisconsin, and I could care less. I don't know why anybody would go to Wisconsin to play quarterback. I mentioned on Buddy's show last night, I'm a diehard college football guy, Edgar. I mean, I'll watch Rice play SMU I'll watch the entire game. People don't. I can name one Wisconsin, maybe two. One is Russell Wilson, who only went 1 year there. The other one was like Brooks Bollinger or somebody.
Yeah.
Those are the only quarterbacks I can think of who went to Wisconsin. Okay. I've seen this guy. I've spoken with coaches, and I've said this not only on the Gator staff, but other college coaches around the country. They really like this Graham Mertz guy. My question to Graham Mertz, and did you speak with Graham or just his quarterback coach?
I talked to just his quarterbacks coach because we're not getting Graham yet. He didn't come to media days, which is a whole nother conversation. But I'm going through a list of great quarterbacks at Wisconsin. I mean, I don't remember any of these guys.
In Iowa would be the two worst places in America to go play quarterback.
I read something, ESPN did on him at the time, and when he made the decision, because it was a huge decision, he was like the number one pocket passer.
It came down, like Ted says here, sorry to interrupt you. He says, if Mertz was highly touted, why did he decide on going to Wisconsin? I don't know, Ted, but I believe his final two choices narrowed down was Alabama and Wisconsin.
Okay. He was recruited by everyone. Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, everyone wanted him. And he was the number one pocket passer. According to ESPN, I think he's number 3, 24/7 composite, which is what we use. And it was a big, big get for the Badgers. And it just didn't pan out. First game, he goes 20 for 21 with 5 touchdowns. And then he gets COVID the next day or a day or two later and didn't really get back that year to, playing well. And then goes 10 touchdowns, 11 picks, I believe, is next year. And last year he's 19-10. So, and his record was 19-13 overall. It isn't, I think they'd had 6 double-digit win seasons or 5 out of 6, including some really big seasons, if you recall. Wisconsin's had some very good years, won out some Big Ten titles, and it just kind of the program kind of declined, correlating to his time there. But Paul Chryst got fired, so there were other things going on besides Graham Mertz.
Yeah, and I know people were wanting Sam Hartman, who put up a lot of numbers at Wake Forest, but we're talking night and day when you compare offenses of what Wake Forest and Wisconsin did. Not saying that Graham Mertz would have put up the same numbers, but his numbers would be definitely inflated compared to what they were at Wisconsin. I like the guy a lot. I've said, to me, he reminds me of a quarterback that would have played for Steve Spurrier, a guy who's smart, who's accurate, and knows where to go with the football. People have asked me about, has he improved since the spring game? I didn't even watch the spring game. I don't even care about spring football. He was here for a couple of weeks, and then it wasn't good. But I'm telling you, he's going to be exactly what they need. The offense is going to look different because they're going to open the offense up now because of his intelligence when it comes to checking and making the right reads and knowing where we go with the football. I'm just a firm believer in that. As I said in January, I may be a moron, but I firmly believe that.
Here's what he said about this. He said Hoover about the spring game, which was hard to watch. It was tough. And he said Mertz's goal that game was ultimately just to kind of execute the scheme in a game setting. Did I get the protection right? Did I get to my running back when it was there instead of forcing the throw? Gauge decision making. He's like, look, can he do it? No, he can't. It wasn't what we were looking for, as a school transfer from that game. This is Hoover speaking. So he's trying to he's not putting a lot of stock in that game either, Shane, which, I wouldn't either. I mean, I don't but they did not. You figure they were going to come out and have a little more pep in their step offensively. I'm not that concerned about it, but it wasn't like what I'd hoped to see. I'd hoped to see a little more in the spring game, honestly.
I think most people, like I said, I put no stock into it. I'm not even worried about that. Bill says he thought your article was great. Mertz is too diligent and working too hard to fail. Look, he's got to have the players around him to make plays. I mean, quarterbacks, you have to deliver the football and know where to go with it. And I think he can. Reggie says Mertz can make all the throws that Anthony couldn't. I don't know. I mean, Anthony can make all the throws. Just Mertz is going to have more accuracy and more anticipation and more touch on the football. Yes, he can run, Tim. He was clocked at like running 24 miles an hour, whatever that means. Did you see that?
Mertz?
Yeah. 22 or 24 miles an hour the other day in
Could have been
practice.
24, but maybe 22. That's impressive. That's almost like cornerback speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it on Twitter, but you can't believe everything you read. I don't get it. He can run good enough to keep a defense honest. Again, this is where I didn't have an argument, but I was telling Buddy last night. I was talking to Mark Brunell, who's a good friend of mine. We came in the same year to the NFL, and he's the quarterback coach for the Detroit Lions the last 3 years. We're talking about quarterbacks, this, that, and the other. And, you know, he liked Anthony, but Anthony was like 5 or 6 on his list for the draft. And
really?
Yeah, and maybe it's because we're older, we look at different things as for quarterbacks, whereas the new generation, all they care about is how far you can throw it, how hard you can throw it, can you hurdle people, and how fast you can run. I mean, think about it. That's why everybody loves Joe Milton, because he can throw it 100 miles an hour. There's 50 quarterbacks I'd take before I take Joe Milton. But that's not playing quarterback. You know, I don't think Justin Fields will make it in the National Football League. You can't throw well enough. You have to know where to go with the football. And I'm preaching to the choir because people are tired of hearing me about this, but there's 3 things to playing quarterback.
I'm tired of hearing it, actually. No, I'm kidding.
Decision-making, accuracy and anticipation, mental and physical toughness. If you don't have those, you can't play. I don't care how fast and how far you can throw a football.
But didn't I tell you this Phil Simms convo I had? I'm sure I've mentioned on here. This was 20 years ago when Rex Grossman came out. I talked to Phil. I used to talk to him a lot. He's harder to get now, but he's obviously knows the position, and he's a great talker. He said, look, man, all that, you know, this, that, and the other, all the physical stuff. Yeah, you need to be able to throw the ball with some velocity. And he could. But he's like, it comes down to accuracy and decision-making, period. Yep. So when they drafted Chad Henne, the Dolphins, back when I was covering them, they passed on Matt Ryan. They took Jake Long. We talked about this on here, I thought. But when they took Henne, I'm like, okay. Henne's like, go look at his college stats. His completion percentage at Michigan was 57. And it translated to the NFL. He just was not consistently accurate. And he's made a ton of money as a backup. Mm-hmm. He might still be in the league, but never been a starter for any length of time. So yeah, it's but explain this, Shane, please, if you don't mind. I'm interested. He said this offense has answers, and if you have answers, you can make better decisions. You get this look, you check into this protection. It's not multiple choice. It's either or. Allows you to process faster. You don't have to change the formations. You don't have to do this and that. How does Billy's offense simplify things, you know, without being simplistic, I guess?
Well, if you have a good offensive mind, it's all about how you coach it, how you explain it, and how you call plays. And you know, I've never sat in Billy's meetings, but I do know the playbook was shrunk last year. But if you have a quarterback who understands protections, he can get himself in and out of bad plays without anybody else knowing, because he can say one word that slides the protection, or he could tell his back to pick somebody up so he could force the ball down the field. There's all different ways. Like I said, I don't know enough about.
So he just sees the formation across from him and makes that tweak, and then it's like game on.
Yes, like when we played under Steve Spurrier, he gave us the freedom to change the play anytime we wanted, because there is a weakness to every defense. There's not one defense that's the greatest defense that you can call to stop everything. There is even the Georgia Bulldogs, believe it or not, they have a weakness on their defense on every snap. It's your job to try, as a play call, to try to exploit that weakness. Now, sometimes they trick you, But if you have a quarterback that understands where that weakness is, he should be taking advantage of it.
Well, Trask was great at that, right?
Yeah, well, Trask knew where to go with the football. He was accurate and he anticipated. He didn't have a great arm and he can't run real well, but he knew where to go with the football. And you can really hurt people at the collegiate level by doing that. And I think that's what's going to happen this year.
Good. Yesterday they were doing, it was one observation I made, and we get like 12 minutes. You see how they shuffle us in and out, the media. It's like, what are we, and then we're supposed to write something off of that. It's like,
I was telling Buddy, I was watching all you guys yesterday. Y'all are scrambling around, running down here, writing stuff, taking pictures. Y'all have no time to look at anything.
I know, and I felt rude because Sean Kelly said hello, and I'm just like, yeah. And I'm coming to you, like, because I'm like, help me, man. If you see something, tell me. But DJ Lagway came through yesterday because he being there with Jeremiah Smith at practice, the #1 receiver recruit in the country, who's committed to Ohio State, and the Gators are desperately trying to flip. At least they became newsy. I talked to DJ's dad for a second too. Really nice fella, played at Baylor. And we were talking about Mike Singletary for a minute, but they were throwing to the running backs. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now they always do that, but they were doing it more. It seemed more yesterday than I'd seen. And I love Cam Carroll for one. I'm really excited to see what he can do. He seems like a really good receiver. And 2 years ago, Tulane, I looked it up yesterday, 17, 198, 3 scores out of the backfield. It's pretty good production for catching the football. And it looks like Billy and Montrell Johnson even said the other day, they're going to throw a lot more to the running backs. It's going to be integrated a lot more because last year, I think it's 24 catches, 160 and a score. Not a lot of production there. I like teams that throw to running backs. You don't see it as much. Back when you played, it was a big thing. What do you think there? Do you think Graham and the Gators are going to be better at that than they have?
Yes, and throwing to your running backs is all going through your progression and understanding down the field's not open, get to my check down. Whereas, like I said, I wasn't in meetings. I don't watch the game tape, but I felt like if Anthony using him last year, if it wasn't there, he took off running. So not open downfield, bam, check it down. Back's usually over the ball or he's on a swing route outside. And I think you will see that from these guys for sure. We had one where is that question? Oh, VJ says, I hope this is true, but the play calling last year was not very good. Okay, so VJ, my question to you is, when you only question play calling when a play doesn't work. Okay, not every play works. It's all about execution. There are plays that Coach Spurrier, one of the greatest play callers of all time, called that didn't work because sometimes they don't. But execution and the guys completing those passes helps your play calling become better. I don't know if that made any sense.
I got a question. One more question for you. Is there any chance Graham Mertz doesn't win the starting job because Billy doesn't want to go there? I get it because you don't want to but it's like, tell me why you wouldn't just anoint Graham Mertz, take him to SEC media days and make him the face of this team. He's a leader. He's 30-some starts. He's a great talker. Great kid. I mean, we talked to him. He's fantastic. So why wouldn't you just name him starter and just get the team rallying right now?
Well, I think the team knows. I think he may be playing do we know Cam Rising going to play for Utah? Is he trying to, make Utah prepare for both, which I think both of them are very similar. It's not like you got two different style quarterbacks, but Graham Mertz is going to be the starter. I don't know what I would do, but I think he's going to be the starter. Nobody's told me that, but he gets all the first team reps and the players talk about him. And I mean, when you talk about leadership, this dude has the pulse of the football team. I could see it at practice yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, Montrell says he's like a coach.
Yes. He is so bright when it comes to football. I think that's what Billy and those guys are so excited about having him out there, because when you have another guy that is like a coach on the field, it's only going to enhance your football team. And now we just got to do it. So we'll see. Edgar went way too fast once again, my man. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter. If you got any good stuff you're going to be writing about.
Yeah, I'm on X now, not Twitter. No,
I looked for 45 minutes the other day looking for it.
OS Gators, and Actually, our paywall is down right now for a couple of days. So go grab some of that content and read it, listeners, and maybe you'll be willing to subscribe. I mean, heck, it's $1 for 6 months. Phil Stambaugh, who might end up watching this, he wants I PDF him stuff sometimes, and he's like, I couldn't read this. It's $1 for 6 months. Come on, man.
The problem is signing up. I will be happy to give you $1 if you sign me up. I just don't have time to do all that.
I get it. And plus, after 6 months, you forget, and then they nail you for whatever, $20.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't like it either. All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's Edgar Thompson. We appreciate his time. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Silverback Concrete's a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by. Appreciate Edgar and Buddy for joining the program. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.